Hi guys, sorry I'm absent again. I promise this is going to be one of the last times. But just so we can go over this together, I made this short video and then you're going to get to some practice just as if I were here today. So we're practicing the quadratic formula day 2. Remember, your homework is being checked tomorrow and it's due Friday. Ms. Kwong will be here after school today and after school Wednesday. Miss Mish will be here in the morning on Thursday. So there are 3 ways to find the roots or the solutions of the quadratic equation. Remember, whenever it says roots, solutions, it's all asking you to solve for x. Okay, or where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, so there's 3 ways we've learned so far. The first was by identifying it with our graph or our table. The second method we did was factoring. And the last method we're learning, which we started yesterday and we're finishing up today, is the quadratic formula. So those are our 3 methods. Okay, so let's recap on factoring. Last week we found the roots by factoring and we had a quiz on it. All right, and there's a mistake in this problem. Can you find it? So take a few minutes, pause the video here, try to find the mistake, and when you think you found it, start back up. All right, so the mistake, if you look here, we know that all quadratic equations have to be equal to 0 in order to solve. So in doing that, we need to use inverse operations to get this over to the other side, which means the inverse would be positive 9. And remember, when we are simplifying this, they're not going to be like terms. So it's going to look something like this. And right from the very beginning, that was the mistake, not using inverse operations. Okay? Maybe there's more. Maybe you can identify some more mistakes in this problem. Let us know. All right, so what are the solutions to the equation? So again, there's 3 ways to do this. We're going to practice it today using the quadratic formula. Remember, the quadratic formula can be used for every single question, but factoring can also be used on some of these, and you can also still use your graphing technique and looking at the table or the picture to see the roots. But just for the purpose, we're going to keep practicing what we started yesterday. So like we just saw in the last example, we need to get this equal to 0. Good. Now we need to identify the a, b, and c. There's an imaginary number in front of here. So that means my a is 1. My b is 4. And my c is negative 16. So I'm going to start by plugging it into the entire equation. All right, and then as I go, I'm just going to kind of replace this. So instead of, let me copy and paste it first. All right, so now instead of these letters, let me make that a little smaller. Sorry about that. Oh boy. Okay, so wherever there was an A, which was, this is not my day. Okay, wherever there was an A, which was here and here, I'm going to replace it with the number 1. B I'm going to replace here and here. So where those go, I'm going to put a number 4. And lastly, my C, there's only one of them. That's going to be our -16. Now remember yesterday we talked about simplifying only the D section first. Remember the D is just what's underneath the square root. So everything else is still going to stay the same, but we are going to simplify that. So I'm going to rewrite this while you are plugging into your calculator in order to simplify. So when you plug that in, that piece you get for D should be 80. So that's what this part is, okay? Everything else is still saying the same. Oops, I forgot my times 1 at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to break this up. Negative right here times 4 gets us -4. This side's going to be my positive side. That's going to be plus square root 80. And then we're going to divide it by 2 times 1, which is 2. And this side's going to be -4 minus square root of 80 divided by 2. Remember, everything in this is the same. The only thing that's changing is because it is, let me get a different color, it is a plus or minus. This is going to be the plus side. This is going to be the minus side. The numbers are still staying the same. Okay, so I can leave this as my solution, but I want to just check using my calculator to see if these numbers are nice. And if they're not, then I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And we can write what the approximation is if it is a decimal. Let's see. -4 plus square root of 80. Remember to hit enter after that. And divide that by 2. And I got a pretty long decimal, so it is not going to be perfect. So this is going to be my answer. But if I were to write that as an approximation, that means it's going to be 2.47, and it continues. This side, and I'm typing this in my calculator, that's why it's taking me so long to write this, which means you should also be plugging it into your calculator and taking the time to do that. All right, and this side, our approximation would be x is approximately -6.47, and it keeps going forever. So I would just leave my answer like what I am boxing right here. Okay, but again, what if it was a multiple choice? And I had, okay, so let's look at this one. What if I had these two things as my answers, like we just found? All right, how would I figure out what choice it is? Okay, so I can plug into my calculator. And see which choice matches. So why don't you go ahead and do that now and see which one for the positive root. Remember, we're only talking about the positive at first. So that would be this root. So I'm looking for which one of those gives me the 2.47 when I check the positive root. And then that will tell you what your answer is. Which one will it be? Okay, good luck. All right, after you're done in that, you're going to get started on the worksheet. You get to decide which problems to choose. The front is a level 3, the back is a level 4. For the first 5 minutes, please work silently, independently, trying to use these notes and this video. When the timer goes off, you can find someone in the room who also did those questions and to work with them. This will be collected and handed into Ms. Cintrone at the end of the period. Thanks. Bye.